I'd like to welcome you all to our Flag Day ceremony. If you would to start out with us, please. Please stand for the singing of the Star Spangled Banner by Miss Wisconsin Rapids, Katie Bakanovich.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Katie. Keeps turning pages on me. Please be seated if you have a place to sit. Members and guests, the purpose of this service is to honor our country's flag, to celebrate the anniversary of its birth, and to recall the achievements attained beneath its folds. It is quite appropriate that such a service should be held by the Order of Elks, an organization that is distinctly American, intensely patriotic, and without counterpart. Esteemed Leading Knight, what are the fraternal aims of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks?
To inculcate the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity, to promote the welfare and happiness of mankind, to uphold our country and its laws, and to quicken the spirit of American patriotism.
Esteemed Leading Knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of our crowning virtue, charity.
Esteemed Loyal Knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is emblematic of justice for all.
Esteemed Lecturing Knight, what is the significance of the American flag?
It is the symbol of brotherly love.
Lodge Esquire, what is the significance of the flag from the station of the exalted ruler?
It is a symbol of fidelity.
Charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity are the cardinal principles of our order, and they are exemplified in all of our services. By them we teach love of country and of our countrymen and loyalty to our American way of life. To be an Elk is to be an American citizen who lives for their country and is ready to die for it. Please stand, and the chaplain will lead us in prayer.
Almighty God, in this hour of patriotic observance of the birthday of our American flag, we ask you to bless our flag and the people of these United States for all that our flag represents, both at home and abroad. We thank thee, and that though all our history as a nation, it has been in sign of freedom, liberty, and opportunity. And through the years to come, may this flag wave as the banner of liberty, freedom, and enlightenment. May this service bring to each of us a sense of loyalty to our country and enable us to be better patriots, truer citizens, and more loyal Americans. To thy glory and to the honor of this great nation. Amen.
Please be seated. That we may better understand the meaning of our flag, I call upon our inner guard, Kyle Cronin, for the history of the flag.
Heraldry is as old as the human race. The carrying of banners has been a custom among all people in all ages. These banners usually contain some concept of the life or government of those who fashion them. The evolution of the American flag marks the progression of the government of the American people. From the founding of Jamestown in Virginia in 1607 until 1775, the flag of England was the flag of the peoples of America. In 1775, the pine tree flag was adopted for all colonial vessels, and this was the banner carried by the Continental forces in the Battle of Bunker Hill. The southern colonies from 1776 to 1777 used the snake flag. In the latter part of 1775, the Continental Congress appointed a committee to consider the question of a single flag for the 13 colonies. That committee recommended a design of 13 alternate stripes of red and white with an azure field in the upper corner bearing the red cross of St. George and the white cross of St. Andrew. John Paul Jones, the senior lieutenant of the flagship Alfred, hoisted this flag to the masthead on December 3rd, 1775, and 1 month later, it was raised over the headquarters of General Washington at Cambridge, Massachusetts, in compliment, as he wrote, to the United Colonies. This flag, called the Continental Colors and the Grand Union, was never carried in the field by the Continental Land Forces, but it was used by the Navy as its exclusive ensign and was the first American flag to receive a salute of honor, a salute of 11 guns from Fort of Orange in the Dutch West Indies. In response to a general demand for a banner more representative of our country, the Continental Congress on June 14, 1777 provided that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes of alternating red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white on a blue field representing a new constellation. It is generally believed that in May or June of 1776, a committee consisting of George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross commissioned Betsy Ross, a Philadelphia Quakeress, to make a flag from a rough design that they left with her. It is said that she suggested that the stars should have 5 points rather than 6. This starry banner was first flown at Fort Stanwix, called Fort Schuyler at the time, near the city of Rome, New York, on August 3rd, 1777, and was under fire 3 days later in the Battle of Oriskany on August 6, 1777, during a British and Indian attack. The first official salute to the Stars and Stripes was given on February 14, 1778, by France on the French coast, when the Ranger, under command of John Paul Jones, was saluted by the French fleet. This flag, then carried by the Ranger, was made by the young women of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, from the stripes of their best colored silk dresses and the white wedding gown of a recent bride. It is said that this same Ranger's flag was flown by Jones's ship, the Bonhomme Richard, in its thrilling fight by moonlight upon the high seas with the British frigate Serapis. When the Serapis struck her colors, the immortal fame of John Paul Jones was ensured as the intrepid defender of the youthful republic. The original 13 stars and stripes represented the original 13 colonies. In 1795, 2 additional stars and stripes were added to represent admission to the Union of Vermont and Kentucky. Under this banner of 15 stars and stripes was fought the War of 1812. It was the sight of it flying over Fort McHenry on September 14, 1814, that inspired Francis Scott Key to write what has become our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. Miss Margaret Young, who cut the stars for that particular banner was the mother of Henry Sanderson, the Grand Exalted Ruler of the Order of Elks in 1884. The Congress, on April 14, 1818, adopted a resolution that on or after July 4 of 1818, the number of stripes should be 13 and that the blue field should carry 1 star for each of the 20 states in the Union, and that a new star should be added for each state thereafter admitted. Since 1818, there have been no changes in the flag design except that 28 new stars were added before July 4th, 1912. This flag of 48 stars and stripes flew over this nation for 47 years until just before the Vietnam War. On July 4th, 1959, a star was added for Alaska, our first non-connected state, and a year later, Hawaii, our island state, added a 50th star. Our present flag of 50 stars and 13 stripes. It is accompanied by the POW MIA flag to recognize the plight and demise of a special group of armed services, those who were prisoners of war or who still remain missing in action.
Please stand and salute our flag. As this emblem is first in our hearts as loyal Americans, so is it close to our altar as loyal Elks. The gentle breezes with lingering caress kiss the folds of no flag which can compare with it in beauty. There is no such red in budding rose, in falling leaf or sparkling wine. No such white in April blossom, in crescent moon or mountain snow. No such blue in woman's eye, in open ocean's depth or heaven's dome. And no such pageantry of clustering stars and streaming light in all the spectrum of sea and sky. Please be seated. Our flag is at once a history, a declaration, and a prophecy. It represents the American nation as it was at its birth. It speaks for what it is today, and it holds the opportunity for the future to add other stars to the glorious constellation. The Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks is the first and only fraternal body to require formal observance of Flag Day. In July 1908, the Grand Lodge of this order at Dallas, Texas, then assembled, provided for the annual nationwide observance of Flag Day on the 14th of June in each year, by making it mandatory upon each subordinate lodge of the order. This unique distinction as the strongest promoter of Flag Day is most becoming to the Order of Elks. This order is distinctly American. Only American citizens are eligible to join it, and it has no foreign affiliations. It has linked its destiny with the destiny of our country and made this flag its symbol of self-dedication to God, to country, and to fellow men. The Stars and Stripes, flag of the United States of America, the worldwide hope of all who, under God, would be free to live and do His will. Upon its fold is written the story of America, the epic of the mightiest and noblest in all history. In the days when peoples of old world groveled in abject homage to the heresy of the divine right of kings, a new constellation appeared in the western skies, the Stars and Stripes, symbolizing the divine right of all to life, liberty, happiness, and peace under endowment by their Creator. To what man or woman is given words adequate to tell the story of the building of this nation? That immortal story is written in blood and sweat, in heroic deeds and unremitting toil, in clearing the primeval forests and in planting the vast prairies where once the coyote and buffalo roamed. Onward swept the nation, spanning wide rivers, leaping vast mountain ranges, leaving in its path villages and farms, factories and cities, till at last this giant nation stood astride the continent, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. This is the heritage of the people of the United States. It has been repurchased by each succeeding generation and must be re-won again, again, and again until the end of time, lest it too shall pass like the ancient empires of Greece and Rome. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. What was won at Lexington and Concord and Bunker Hill had to be repurchased at Ticonderoga and Yorktown. What John Paul Jones achieved upon the high seas in the War of Independence had to be repurchased by Commodore Perry on Lake Erie in the War of 1812. The prestige of Admiral Dewey's victory at Manila Bay in 1898 was re-won by the naval battles in the sea about the far distant lands of the Pacific after the sneak attacks upon Pearl Harbor and Manila in 1941 had summoned our country to assume its role in World War II. What our troops achieved under the Stars and Stripes at Chateau Thierry in Flanders in World War I, their sons were required to repurchase in World War II in the bloody trek across North Africa, on the beachheads of Europe, and in the Battle of the Bulge. The flag our American men raised at Iwo Jima was the same flag later raised in the defense of Incheon, Pusan, and Pork Chop Hill in far-off Korea. Then another generation under the same flag bled to stem the threat of communism in far-off Vietnam. Our young people were again called to carry our flag in the defense of the free world in the actions in Grenada and Panama. Willingly, our brave men and women carried our flag in the honor of the American people at the battle in Operation Desert Storm. And who among us will ever forget the sight of firefighters raising our flag over the ruins of the World Trade Center, the military personnel draping our flag on the side of the Pentagon, or the citizens of Somerset County, Pennsylvania, placing our flag near the site where brave Americans died fighting the hijackers of Flight Number 93. No other symbol could have offered such comfort as we still, today, endure the horrors of the day. Today, American armed forces carry our flag in the villages of Iraq, the mountains of Afghanistan, and the jungles of the Philippines, and wherever terrorism may reside. The struggle against the sponsors of terrorism is the hardest battle yet, and this threat to our nation and to our way of life is certainly as great a challenge as our flag has ever seen. The resurgence of patriotism since September 11th, 2001 has rekindled respect for our flag. Today we see the Star-Spangled Banner wherever we turn, on homes, businesses, automobiles, and billboards. Such displays stimulate our love for our nation and for what it stands. They remind us of the sacrifices being made by the men and women of our armed forces around the world, and they are a tribute to the heroes of the police and fire departments the nation over. The greatest significance of this flag, however, lies in the influence it has in the hearts and minds of millions of people. It has waved over the unparalleled progress of a nation in developing democratic institutions, scientific and technological knowledge, education, and culture. It has served as a beacon for millions of poor and oppressed refugees abroad and stands as a promise that the underprivileged will not be forgotten. What is the meaning of the flag of the United States? There can never be a definitive answer to that question. There are people in this world who see it as a symbol of imperialism, others see it as a destiny of the people. But reference to these and similar views of the flag was resolved by Woodrow Wilson when he said, "This flag which we honor and under which we serve is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thought, and shape of this nation. It has no other character than that which we give it from generation to generation. The choice is ours. Only true love of our fellow man can create peace. The emblem and token of this love is the Stars and Stripes, the symbol of the American way of life." Lodge Esquire, how shall we further honor our flag? I turned it off.
The flag is formally honored by the Pledge of Allegiance. This pledge was written in 1892 by Francis Bellamy and published in the Youth's Companion as part of a patriotic campaign of that magazine. The pledge did not become part of the flag code until 1942, and in 1954, the phrase "under God" was added.
Let us all stand and pledge ourselves never to forget the principles represented by this flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You just take it from here and then I'll introduce Jim and y'all.
Each year, as part of the Flag Day ceremony, it is traditional that we have kind of a special speech or oration or recognition that happens. And this year, the recognition, one of our special recognitions, is going to be for a newly formed Cub Scout pack. We thought that it would be very proper to involve the youth as part of the Flag Day ceremony. So at this time, we're going to call up the members of Port Edwards Cub Scout Pack number 170 to come on up, and we're going to do a short advancement ceremony to their next set of ranks. Bob, could you assist for a second? Could you just hold the mic? Because this takes a little coordination. Got to do that. This pack was I should say reconstituted this year. We actually have 6 members, three of whom have decided to join us tonight, and we are going to advance them onto their next rank. What's kind of neat is we do have or I guess kind of unique, is we've got a young gentleman who will be moving on to getting his Tiger badge, young gentleman who will be earning his Wolf badge, and another young gentleman who will be earning his Bear badge. And one of the things that the Cub Scouts do is there's a little bit of a face painting that comes along with this. So we're going to do this for each of the boys. And I'm going to actually call for our Tiger Cub to come forward, and we're going to have his dad come on up too. If you want to undo the paints, just bear with us a moment. Why don't you come right here, and I'm going to have you be the mic man. Okay. So Cayenne, this school year you and your family have explored new and exciting things and places. You've taken part in each of the Tiger Cub components, which is search, discover, share. You've shown us that you've used it in your home and in your school, in your neighborhood. You've taken part in some new activities this year. Got a question for you. Do you want to wear the sign of a Tiger Cub? Say yes. You said yes. So we're going to give you the sign of the Tiger Cub, which will start you on your journey along the scouting trail. You'll need lots of support from your family as you try to attain Cub Scouting's highest honor, the Arrow of Light. So I need black. We're going to start with some black on your cheeks, and this is for happiness along the Tiger Trail. Do you want to apply the paints? And we have one of our pack committee members, Doug Berryman, applying the paints. And we're going to add some red to your forehead. And this is for bravery as you attempt the Bear Trail, which you'll soon go on in a couple of years. And yellow on your chin, and that will symbolize sunlight along the Wolf Trail. Ah, very good. And Tiger Cub Cayenne. Remember the meaning of the tiger paint. It shows that you are ready to move along the upward trail of scouting. I will now present you with your badge, the Tiger badge. And how about some applause for Cayenne?
All right.
Congratulations. There you go. That's your Tiger badge. It's still right there. So, good job. we'll have you just, we have some more things for you, but if you want to step back for a moment. Okay. Next, we're going to have our wolf come forward. Ivan. When a boy joins a Cub Scout pack, he earns the badge of Bobcat and starts on an upward trail. This trail will lead him through the footsteps of the wolf, the bear, and the Webelos brave, and on his way to the highest honor of Cub Scouting, the Arrow of Light. Tonight, we're going to honor a scout who has made significant advancement along this journey, and this is Ivan, who will become our Wolf Scout. And Ivan, can you repeat and say with me the Cub Scout promise? I, Ivan.
I, Ivan.
Promise to do my best.
To do my best.
To do my duty.
To do my duty.
To God and my
To
country.
God and my country.
To help other people.
To help other people.
And to obey the
And to obey the
law of the pack.
law of the pack.
Do you want to wear the sign of the wolf?
Yes.
Very good. And we're going to have maybe Ivan's mom would want to come, or come on up. And you have, Ivan, you've worked hard to fulfill the wolf requirements, and you're now ready to wear the sign of the wolf. And we're going to start with black. And this is going to go on your chin, as it stands for happiness from your days as a tiger cub. And then we're going to add red to your forehead for bravery when you become a bear. And we're going to add yellow across your nose. And that is for sunlight along the wolf trail. And Ivan, remember the meaning of your wolf paint. It shows that you are ready to move along and upward along the scouting trail. And I'm going to present you with your badge and your certificate. If I can find it. I've got it right here. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Here's your wolf badge. And stay up here because we do have a couple more items for you. For Mom can leave. And we're going to have our bear presentation. And if our bear cub Colin could come forward. You can just stand back if you'd like. And tonight we're honoring a Cub Scout who has reached his new rank, the rank of bear. And I happen to be Colin's dad, so I guess I can be up here representing Colin, unless his mom wants to come up too. No?
No.
Do you want the sign of the bear?
Yep.
Colin said yes too. So we're going to give Colin the sign of the bear tonight. You're well along your way along the Cub Scout trail to reach the Arrow of Light and eventually start the Boy Scout trail to seek the sign of the eagle. To help you along your journey, we'll give you the sign of the bear. And we're going to start with yellow on your chin. And that stands for sunlight from the wolf trail. And then we're going to add blue to your forehead. And this is for loyalty when you become a Webelos Scout. Who can tell me what a Webelo is? Anybody out there? Will be loyal Scouts, for those of you in the scouting ranks, if you wanted to know that, or not in the scouting ranks. We're going to add red on your cheeks, and this is for courage and the hard work you did to achieve the bear rank. And Bear Cub Colin, remember the meaning of your bear paint. It shows that you are ready to move along the upward trail of scouting. Let's give an applause for Colin, and I'm going to present you with your badge. Good job, bud. And we are almost concluded here. There are just a couple of last badges that we're going to award the scouts tonight before they take off. And this will go a little bit quicker than the face painting. Can you just hold this for a second? Oh, hi. What's that? Yeah.
Bob would like a little blue just underneath the eyes.
I didn't want all this stuff blowing around, so I kind of left it in here, but that also makes it a little difficult. Oh, stand back, Lucy. The last items we have for the boys tonight, along the way of the Cub Scouting Trail, the boys take part in different activities. In certain activities, they can earn what are called belt loops. And for each of the boys tonight, we have a collecting belt loop. So that's for a collecting project that we did. You're welcome. We had some other boys who were not able to make it tonight. They'd earned some belt loops in heritage and in baseball. Yeah, and actually they were pins for baseball, but tonight we have Colin here who has a baseball pin that he will earn. And we had another scout who earned that as well. So, and that is it. And one last round of applause for our Cub Scouts tonight.
Grab those off of there.
Yep. Okay, boys, you can I do one last thank?
Huh?
Yeah, one last thank you.
Got it.
Oh, I wanted to
I got it.
thank Doug and Karen.
Yeah, I got it.
That's fine.
I would like to introduce at this point Wisconsin Rapids City Council President Gene Young.
It's on.
Thank you so much. It is my honor and privilege to be representing the City of Wisconsin Rapids this evening. Mayor Zach Verwink was unable to be here, and you get me instead. What a beautiful evening, and what a great opportunity to celebrate the important symbol that we're standing under right now of American freedom. I want to take a minute and thank the Elks Club for all they do in this community, and they do a lot. They do a lot for our youth. And again, one more round of applause if we could for our Boy Scouts. Congratulations. As the City Council President, I would also like to personally thank the Elks Club for the flag we are standing under and honoring right now. What a wonderful donation to the city and the citizens of Wisconsin Rapids. Thank you. Today is Flag Day, and I know these words were already spoken, but I wrote them down, so I'm saying them again. In the words of Woodrow Wilson, "Old Glory, this flag which we honor and under which we serve, is the emblem of our unity, our power, our thoughts, and purpose as a nation. Under this flag, we have fought for many worthy and important causes. Equity, the acceptance of diversity, and humanity are all hallmarks of what our flag symbolizes. And I can honestly tell you, when I pledge allegiance to our flag on City Council floor, I am so honored to say these words, with liberty and justice for all." Thank you again for this opportunity to be here, and thank you to the Elks Club.
Thank you. I need to thank a bunch of people without whom we wouldn't have done this. First of all, Miss Wisconsin Rapids, Katie Bakanovich, and I pronounced it right twice in a row, Katie. That's pretty good. Again, our City Council President, Gene Young. I'd like to thank Molly Thomas, who's the band director at Assumption, for taps. Thank you, Molly. I'd also like to thank the organization's president, the Vietnam Vets, Chapter 101, the VFW Post 2534, the Knights of Columbus 4th Degree Assembly 1218, and of course Cub Scout Pack 170. In conclusion of this observance of Flag Day, let us rededicate ourselves to the flag of the United States of America, and may the principles of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity ever increase in each of us. I now declare this service closed.